Hello, Spinner94 here for another 6v6 battle, and man, this was a interesting battle I had on stream. So I'm rocking my usual teams. Jim's rocking some quite interesting ones here, the Gastrodon and the Pelipper, definitely two that stand out here. So we're going to jump straight into this battle and see how it all plays out. So, we're going to start off this battle here, and Jim is going to lead off with Greninja, and I'm going to lead off with Yogi here. I am determined to make Beware work. I've had one or two battles where it's actually done its job. So, in comes a Greninja here, and I'm thinking, I wonder what this thing's carrying here, but it does have the Extra Sensory, which is not good for me, as it's going to hit me super effective, but fortunately Beware manages to actually live that, which I was generally quite surprised, even after the Life Orb stuff. I'm glad it's not a Protean one. So, I go straight for a return here, hit that Greninja, and that thing is dead, no Battle Bond for you. So, I was thinking the Hammer on, but I didn't particularly want to risk it. I wanted, this thing to be hit for good. So Minor's going to get its shields down here. The shields down are going to deactivate here. So this thing's nice and protected. So it's going to go for a Shell Smash. It's definitely going to outspeed me if it's got speed investment or whatever. So its defenses are going to drop and its special attack, and that's going to go for the roof. But I'm not too bothered because I knew since I was slower, a Hammer Arm would be able to do a ton of damage here. But this thing is Focus Sashed, which is quite a common item to see on this, even though its defense is usually allow it to bulk up. So in one of the few situations, this is where the Focus Sash is better. So shields down is going to activate. This thing is going to be just cheery as hell, as it is going to go for a Power Gem, hit me up here, and that is going to kill, even though it's not very effective as I am a fighting type. But down goes Beware, so I'm going to go into my Bootleg Mark II here, as I do, I do have the priority on this thing, so I'm able to do some damage here. So Shadow Sneak is going to finish this thing off for good. I didn't want to risk setting up, I didn't want to lose my Disguise, I want to keep that Disguise on as long as possible. So down goes that. So in goes his Miyuki here, and we're basically going to do a mirror move here. We're going to go Shadow Sneak, and I'm going to go Shadow Sneak back. So it's very quickly becoming a mirror battle here. And as I say, I would like people watching this opinion. What do you think is becoming a very common Pokemon to use in Battle Cup? I think Toxapex and Mimikyu are becoming very popular to use, as I've seen a ton of people definitely using them. So the Skies are going to get busted here, and he does actually red card me out, which is an interesting item to see on this. And I go into my Hey here, which is probably the worst thing that could have happened to this Miyuki here. So I know I'm going to outspeed, but he does have Shadow Sneak here. It's going to do a nice chunk of damage, as I'm a hasty nature, so I don't have that defense, which is, the trio, sorry, it's not known for its defense, as Iron Head is going to connect and completely one-shot this poor Miyuki here, so down this thing goes. So this battle's looking pretty good for me. I'm feeling pretty confident here. And in comes this Pelipper here, and Pelipper actually got, I believe, a health increase in its stats, and it gets Drizzle now. So its special attacking with water moves is going to do a lot better here. So I'm quite intimidated by this thing, so I'm going to go for a Rock Tomb, because I wasn't really sure what to do here, and I thought Dugtrio done his bit here. So the speed is going to drop here. I'm going to get some Life Orb damage, and Scald is going to connect. That's super effective damage in the rain, and Dugtrio not being known for bulk with the crit as well. Yep, I'm definitely going to go with that. So down goes good old hey. So I go into Moon Dance here, and this is where these things in battle start getting stally. So I'm going to go for a payback here. Actually really surprised they outsped this thing. I thought Pelipper had a little bit more speed, but it does go for a U-turn here, and that's going to do a nice little chunk out of me, considering it's super effective. I mean, it could have done a bit more, but as I said, special attacker. So Lyrock's going to come in here, and Umbreon is my special defensive ward this team. So Lyrock is pretty intimidating to it. I didn't know exactly what it would carry, but it does have Brick Break here, and that is a huge chunk to Umbreon here, as I'm going to go straight for a Confuse Ray. So Confuse Ray's only got a 33% chance of hitting now, but I honestly don't think it does. I think it's still 50% cuff. I have really jammy luck with Confuse Ray, so I'm going to get some lefties here. Moon Dance A is going to switch out. I am going to go into my defensive wall Booby Trap here, and with that rain, I know the Scald will do something if it connects to anything. So it's confused. It manages to hit itself in the face. That does a huge chunk of damage to itself, considering that's quite a little chunk for confusion. So Pelipper is going to come in here, and I'm going to go straight for a Scald here in the rain, and that's not going to do a damn thing to Pelipper here. So I'm thinking, is it worth trying to get a Toxic or anything on this? So it is going to go for a Roost. I don't have Thunder Wave or anything on my team, so I believe I go straight for the Toxic here. Yep, that I do. So this thing is now Toxic and slowly going to whittle itself down. And not the best. I wish I had Stealth Rock or something on this team, but that's something to work on in the future. So it's going to slowly start taking poison damage here, as I am going to switch off Toxapex here, who's going to be a major player later on in this game. So I go into Moon Dance here. Hurricane A is going to connect. That's going to do a huge chunk of damage to Umbreon here, which is a shame, because I think, does Hurricane have a 100% chance hitting in the rain? I think it does, or something like that. I could be wrong, but anyway, Hurricane is going to do its thing again. It's going to do a nice little chunk of damage. It hits twice, and Moon Dance A is going to go down. So unfortunately down goes Umbreon here. So Pelipper is going to take a little bit more damage here. It's at about half health, so I'm going to go into Death Star here, and I thought this was an opportunity maybe to start setting up here as Shield Deactivate is going to kick in. So I'm going to go straight for the Spell Smash here, and seeing he didn't switch, so I'm thinking, is he going to hit me for a Scald and try to get that burn or whatever, but he's not going to really do that with my shields being up. But he does go for a U-turn here, which is a great move, because he just managed to do that. He managed to predict my Shell Smash here and go straight into Gastrodon here. And Gastrodon is incredibly bulky. I should know this, I run one myself. So I go for Psychic here, and that does not do anything at all. And this Gastrodon's going to go for a Waterfall here. So unfortunately, I didn't even get a chance to use my Smash, which is a shame because it's one of the few times Minor has actually failed me. So bit of a misplay on my part, but a very good move on Greninjas here. So now we get into the immensely stally part of the battle, and I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to go straight for a Toxic here. Obviously, I want this thing Toxic because he doesn't have any Roamer Therapy or anything like that on his team. But he does reveal Curse, so I'm like, oh, this thing is going to start setting up on me. That is not good, especially if it carries Earthquake, because this is Water Ground, so that stab Earthquake will do quite a bit to Toxapex here. So not sure what to do here. I'm thinking I can't go for Scald because this thing will definitely have Storm Drain here. So I'm definitely going to switch Booby Trap out here, and I'm going to go into Bootleg Mark II, as I think Bootleg has kind of done its thing here. So Curse is going to do its thing, and I'm a pretty bulky Miyuki set, so I'm thinking maybe +2 I can take this thing. I'm not too sure, as Lefties is going to do its thing again, but that's going to be cancelled out now by Poison. Thank you, Toxic, you are certainly doing your job here. And I'm not 100% sure what to do here, so I set up a substitute here to see what's going on, and he's going to go for a Waterfall. So I'm thinking, you know what, it is time to play the immensely stall game. So I'm going to speed up the video now. What I'm essentially going to do now as I speed up the video, I am trying to stall out this Poison as much as possible because I know I'm not going to do too much. So he's going to Earthquake, but since I know I'm faster and I do have that Citrus Berry here, I'm just going to have to keep using substitute. So I am playing the complete stall to win, which is not an honourable thing to do, and it's arguably a very try-hard thing to do. But I must admit, at the time I was like, I really want to win this battle. I was in the really competitive mood here. So as I say, the Poison switches in, but now he switches back into Lyra. So unfortunately, with Lyrock going in and hitting me with a Stone Edge here, that kind of breaks what strategy I was going for as I go for a play rough here. And Lyrock must have some great defenses in its Midnight Funk after taking these hits for days. So unfortunately, I don't really get too far with this, as he's going to hit me with a Stone Edge again, and that is the end of Bootleg here. So I'm going to go into Booby Trap here, and it's about the only thing I can really hold to counter this thing, as it's going to go for a Stone Edge again, and that does a freaking ton of damage to me. And at this moment, I've lost a lot of my Mons here. I believe I'm practically down to Booby Trap here. So at the moment, I was thinking, well, I've probably lost this, but I'm going to have to just try and play the stall game for as long as I can, because Booby Trap is unfortunately my last Mon. This game went tits up for me very, very quickly here. So I'm going to go for the Recover here, of course, because I haven't really got too much else to do here, and that's a nice chunk of damage. So I'm thinking, if I can just keep going for these recovers, I can do my job here. So Painful Bunk is going to kick in. I managed to protect myself here, as Poison is hopefully going to take this thing down this turn, or maybe the next. So it's going to... Yes, it's going to be taken down this turn, thank God, because if it kept doing that, that would have been such a pain. So in comes Pelipper here. This Toxapex is not designed to take special attacks, but Toxapex's natural bulk is hopefully going to save me here. So it does start running here, as this thing does go for a Roosters. We are definitely going to start playing the recovery game now. So Hurricane is going to... I'm going to go straight to the Recover, get as much as I can here. The Poison's going to kick in. So, of course, Pelipper is the faster one. So Hurricane is going to kick in and do a nice chunk of damage to me. But I do get confused, which is not good because I cannot afford to be hitting myself. So, unfortunately, I hit myself there and go to 99 HP. But my Black Sludge is going to cover for me. So, I'm thinking, oh, these Confused Acts are going to be the thing that ends me. So, Hurricane again. I go to 29 HP. That's a critical hit as well. But Booby Trap manages to break through that Recover and... Toxapex is doing its thing here, because at the minute I am panicking. I'm thinking, can I stall this out to be at least like... I didn't think I was going to win at this point, but I wanted to be like at least just 1 by the 1, so, or 2. So Hurricane going to connect here. Baneful Bunk is going to do its thing, snapping out a Confusion. Great timing on that, as Poison is going to keep doing its work here. So Pelipper goes for another Hurricane here. That does a ton to me here, and I get confused again, which is not good at all. But I managed to break through that Confusion, and I go for the Recover here. So against all odds, I am completely breaking through these recovers here. Like, you have no idea, like the sweat coming off my forehead. I'm panicking here. I'm having to double think every decision here. So Hurricane's going to connect again, bringing me back to 102 health, but I'm going to go straight for another recovery again, because my god, I am bulk. And down goes this Pelipper here, which was really interesting to see, but not bulky enough to kill them on here. So Gastrodon comes here with a very minuscule health here, but it is going to go for the Recover here, as I'm basically just thinking, you know, recover. I've expected this thing to be faster, but nope, it is actually slower, so I was quite surprised at that, as Gastrodon's Poison is going to keep doing his thing. I'm going to go for a Baneful Bunker here, as I knew he'd go for an Earthquake here to scout how much damage he could do, to see maybe if he was setting up curses or anything like that. So Lefty's just going to do his thing, Poison's going to whittle down, and I'm thinking, I need to stall for 1,000,000 turns here just to get this thing down. So it's going to Earthquake again. I'm going to take quite a decent chunk of damage here for super effective, but I'm glad I'm practically max defense here, because it's the only reason I'm living all these hits. So Gastrodon's going to get some more Lefty's recovery, but that Poison's going to keep whittling in here, as we both, I believe, keep going for Recover here. As I'm going to go for Recover, he's going to recover. This is basically a mirror battle at this point, but I'm just really confident I can stall this thing down here. If he sets up a curse or gets a decent earthquake hit in, it's going to be the end of me. So I'm going to go straight for a Baneful Bunker again, predicting the earthquake here. I'm getting the really good predicts. This is probably the most mindset I've been in Pokemon Sun and Moon currently. So I go for a Toxic again, because I can't exactly hit this thing with a Scowl to increase the special attack. I'm not going to give it the chance to. As Poison is going to keep whittling down here, I'm slowly taking this thing down. Go for Toxic again. He's going to go for the Recover here, just to trying to keep it full health here. Maybe trying to stall out to think of a plan of something like that. So I go for the Baneful Bunker again, and yet again predict the earthquake. So I'm doing pretty well on these predicts here, as the Poison is going to whittle this thing down into the red. So I'm thinking, a couple more turns I can do this. So I'll go for the Toxic. He's going to go for the Recover, but he's in a lock now, because the Poison's doing more than he can actually recover. So until he gets to the 16th part, we're going to be quite stally here. So I go for the Baneful Bunker again, predicting an earthquake here. He goes for a Recover again, which is unfortunate for me. I wish I had some kind of more damaging moves here, but Toxapex would not have been able to do a lot here. But he's just stalling out for days. I'm just going to stall to victory here as I go for Toxic. He goes for an Earthquake again, and this Toxic is finally going to finish the match off. So, my god, that was a stally one. I'm not going to lie, I didn't win that through an honourable means. But if you made it to this part of the video, remember to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. This has been Spinner94, stalling for the victory.